Hi, I'm John. This is my channel, Cichlid Heaven. Today's video is going to be about this particular filter right here. It's an Aqua Clear 110 or AC 110 hang on the back filter. It's a popular filter for a lot of people. It flows a fair amount of water and it's a pretty effective. Basically, it's a sponge filter. You have other media that you could put in the back as well, but for all intents and purposes, it's just a really decent flow sponge filter. They tend to be pretty reliable, but yesterday and today I came down to my fish room and I noticed that the water flow was completely stopped. There was no water flowing and it looked like the water was pretty much drained out of the filter, and yet it was still plugged in and, quote, running. So I was a little worried about burning out the motor, but it didn't burn out, and I'll show you how I fixed it. So the Aqua Clear 110 is actually a really good filter, and set up correctly it rarely has any issues. So this one is a user error, and you'll see that this filter is stopped right now. Even though it's plugged in, it should be running. But I noticed yesterday after I restarted it that it wasn't sitting very level. It was leaning back. And so since the little wheel that allows you to change the distance between the tank was broken off and I didn't feel like ordering a new one, I just put a plastic scrubby pad in between the back of the filter and the back of the tank. So coincidentally that put it perfectly level, and that was really my problem. That's why the filter flow stopped. It was leaning back, and at a bad angle like that, the water flow, just the slightest interruption can cause it to stall. So I'm taking off the lift tube and the inner tube there. So I'm just taking those two out so that I can reach my hand down inside and reach the impeller. So the impeller is in the center down there. You can pretty much find it blind. You can just reach your hand down inside and feel the little plastic ribs of the impeller. It won't hurt your finger. I mean, I guess if you left it there for a long time or stuck it in at an awkward angle, it might, but it's not going to hurt your finger. It's just a magnet and a little spinning fan looking thing inside there. So once I got that running again and got that going, I just slipped the tube back inside there down to where it belongs, and it seats nice and firmly inside there. I noticed you have to put the lift tube with the strainer on after you've got it on there. It doesn't quite fit on there. The plastic is a little too thick, so you have to put on the inner piece first, and then the flow got going just in just a few seconds, and I just installed the outer lift tube and part with the strainer on there so that small fish don't swim inside there, and it's running like a dream again. So not a real big deal. I did cloud the water up some, so I decided to do a water change. I've got a little water change system here that is not automatic at all, but there's just a couple of holes drilled in the wall there, so I ran these two hoses. The one hose has of course, the fresh water supply, and it's just city water, and I got a hot-cold temperature so I can keep the temperature correct. And then I've got a siphon tube that runs to a floor drain, and the floor drain is kind of a blessing because it's down low, of course, and so when I drain, it doesn't matter if I'm taking it from the lower tanks or the taller tanks. It gives me, with the help of gravity, it gives me the ability to drain out my tanks pretty quickly. So you see the water levels dropping here, and as soon as I've got the water down a couple inches, I'll start to refill at the same time. So I just find that this shocks the fish a little less than doing the draining it down till the fish only have a little bit of water and then filling it up after. I like to just, I'll get it down a couple inches, and then I'll start draining and filling at the same time. Of course, I put in some Seachem Prime to remove any chlorine or chloramine that might be in the water. Really important to make the water safe. And check the temperature. In the summertime, here it's almost summertime. I don't have to worry too much about the straight cold temperature, but in the wintertime, here in Utah, the water runs very cold, so I need to make sure I've got at least a little bit of hot going on in there. So once the siphon has been going for about 10 minutes, I figured that's enough to just remove a little bit of excess crud from the filter and get that put away, top it off, and checking out the fish, just see how everything looks. So this is a Central American tank that I started, and they're not all Central American. There's 3 or 4 fish from Africa, some yo-yo loaches. Don't know actually where the yo-yo loaches originate, but there are some acaras, some royal acaras, electric blue acaras, 3 different species of severums, and we've got a starry night cichlid, which is not South American, but a couple of Nicaraguan cichlids, and I've got a couple of these Distischotus sexfasciatus. They're kind of a beautiful little fish. They got the colors of a clown loach or a tiger barb, but just really gorgeous. Anyway, a great tank, and glad that I've got Aqua Clear filter running again, and the fish are doing very well. So thanks for watching today, and I hope if this will solve a problem you have, I really hope it does. Have a great day.